England's NFL journey has brought him to Buffalo this season. No one knows yet if T.O. will move on, but today, the Bills' number 81 looks to make a difference, hopes to be the difference against division-leading New England. It comes your way next, here on CBS, in Sony High Definition.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
He's going to go all the way. Touchdown. Touchdown. Wow. Touchdown. Darrell Owens. Touchdown. Randy Moss.
A couple of very prominent number 81s will be on display here at Ralph Wilson Stadium today. Welcome back to Buffalo, everyone, where the toss has been won by the Buffalo Bills, and they will receive. And it's a matter of perspective, Dan, but it's a relatively beautiful day here in Buffalo.
Considering the wild weather that's been up and down the East Coast, on a scale of 1 to 10, we've got a 10 going here in Buffalo today.
That's Fred Jackson, number 22, deep. And it'll be Fred Jackson taking the kick at his own 3-yard line. And just across the 20 and out to about the 24-yard line where James Sanders makes the tackle. That is Ryan Fitzpatrick, the quarterback. He came on in relief of Trent Edwards in week 6 of the season. It is still his job. 5 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions. He completes 53% of his throws. The 4th-year quarterback out of Harvard.
That football factory.
Terrell Owens. Flank to the near side of the field, 1st and 10. And Fitzpatrick going to throw on 1st down. Short pop over the middle and across the 30-yard line to the tight end, Sean Nelson. On the line, newly signed Richie Incognito starts for injured Kendall Simmons at right guard, a world of talent and a little baggage. We'll talk a little about that as the day goes on. Lots of speed on the outside with Terrell Owens and Lee Evans, and a talented running back in Fred Jackson. He's backed up by Marshawn Lynch. There is Richie Incognito. You'd be forgiven if you can't recognize him, Dan.
Well, he started 44 games for the Rams. This guy has experience. He has talent. Can he control his temper? That's the question.
On 2nd and 2, the give is to Jackson. And Jackson up to very close to 1st down yardage. The Patriot defense injury has taken a toll on the front 3. Mike Wright starts for Ty Warren. Ron Brace for Vince Wilfork. The linebackers, Adalis Thomas active and starting on the outside, Gerard Mayo on the inside, New England's leading tackler. And the secondary, Sean Springs and Lee Bodden, the corners, James Sanders and Brandon Merriweather are the safeties.
That Ron Brace, who's starting in the middle, he is only a rookie. He's only been active for 5 games this year. He's been inactive the last 3. Huge shoes to fill for Wilfork.
On 3rd and 1, the give is to Jackson, and Jackson has 1st down yardage across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. 1st down, Buffalo.
Well, and here goes Buffalo needing short yardage. They go right up the middle, and you could see Brace getting pushed out of there. A good double team by Hangardner, the center, Levitre, the left guard. They get the push, and Brace got moved out of the hole.
You talk about Vince Wilfork usually being in there. He's not one you usually push out of the hole.
No, and that is why he's an annual Pro Bowler. A huge force in the middle is missing today for New England.
On 1st down, it's Jackson again, and Jackson running room across the 45 out to the 49, and another Buffalo 1st down.
Well, nothing fancy about this. This is straightaway running, just man blocking up front, and a nice job of getting off. Again, Levitre, the left guard rather, does a good job stepping out, coming up, getting on Gary Guyton. And so far, although it's obviously very early, but New England got to do a better job of shedding blockers, getting to the ball carrier.
1st down, a yard shy of midfield. And it's going to be Jackson again, midfield. to the 45, to the 44 of the New England Patriots. Talking with Fred Jackson yesterday, Jackson said, I would call myself relentless. I hate to be brought down by just one guy.
Well, this is a guy that truly appreciates the opportunity to play in the National Football League. He played indoor football. He played in NFL Europe. He took the long road to the National Football League. He didn't arrive here in a limo. He arrived here driving the car of hard work, and he really loves and appreciates the opportunity.
Coming out of that football factory that is Coe College. From the 44. Fitzpatrick flips it out to Jackson. And Jackson shakes a tackle inside the 40 to the 35 of the Patriots and a first down.
Boy, we'll see how this drive ends up, but this is exactly the way that Buffalo wanted to get this game started. They've got some nice balance. They're running the ball effectively. Fitzpatrick has completed a couple passes, and right there, that's just being physical. That's just breaking a tackle. Fred Jackson, a little more want-to on that one.
Jackson gets a breather on the sideline. Marshawn Lynch replaces him in the backfield, the third-year back out of California. Two tight ends for Fitzpatrick. First down at the New England 35. And this is Lynch. Right up the middle where Vince Wilfork used to be. Inside the 25 to the 23 and another first down. There's a theme to this running game so far, Dan.
Yes, and it's called physical football. Take a look at this right here. You can see they made a change. Mike Wright has moved down onto the nose. But again, it's another broken tackle. This time Gerard Mayo is the guy who's got there. He's got the wrap on Marshawn Lynch and can't get him down. The success on first down is really making it easy for Buffalo.
First down at the 25. Eighth play of this drive. Lynch. Inside the 20, out of bounds.
Well, this has to be pleasing Perry Fewell, the head coach of Buffalo, the interim coach. He's got a 2-2 record, and the players like him. They like him immensely. He's doing double duty. He's the head coach, but he's also still the defensive coordinator, the role he held before he took over for Dick Duran, and he's, boy, talk about a workload. He's still doing both jobs.
Doesn't allow him much time at home.
No, he says, I'm tired, but I love it.
Been rushing right up the middle on 2nd and 4. The give is to Lynch. To about the 17-yard line. Tom Brady sitting on the sideline watching this so far 6-minute drive.
Well, of course, that's anytime you're playing a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, a Drew Brees, if you can make him do a lot of this, warming up on the sidelines, you're executing the game plan that you came in with. Turn those guys, turn the stars into spectators, give yourself a good chance. There's rookie Ron Brace back in.
42 rushing yards on this drive for the Bills. 3rd and 2. Fitzpatrick out here to Owens with blockers to the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Bills.
Well, this is a beautifully executed drive by Buffalo. Alex Van Pelt is calling a beauty. You see the blitz coming to that side. Owens hesitates. Boy, he gets an outstanding block by Jonathan Scott, who buries Merriweather.
And then Merriweather gets up and makes the tackle.
Yeah, that was a good job of Merriweather of bouncing up, but man, he got planted.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Fred Jackson back into the backfield. The pitch for Jackson. Cuts it back to about the 6. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 6.
You can see that this kind of a long drive is something that doesn't come very easily to the Buffalo Bills, next to last in the league in that department.
Fans are kind of wondering what's going on.
Well, keep in mind, this is behind an offensive line that today is starting their 8th different combination this year, and a guy who didn't even show up until Wednesday is starting at right guard.
This is now an 8-minute drive. Jackson inside the 5 to about the 2.5.
And it's really simple. The New England Patriots up front are just not getting off of blocks. They're getting a hat put on them, and they're just not getting away from the guy in front of them. Good lead block that time. Corey McIntyre gets up there, puts his hat on a defender.
The big rookie from Ball State, Andre Ramsey, number 76, just came onto the field for the Bills up front. 6'5", 322.
He's in a tight end.
3rd and goal. Jackson.
No, this play didn't happen. They're going to call a false start on Buffalo, I think.
False start. 86. 5 yards.
Young Mr. Ramsey.
Well, there's the first negative on this drive. It's been peaches and cream up to this point. And now deep in the red zone, you get a negative, and a negative is the worst kind. It's a false start at home. Crowd noise isn't a factor.
Man, you don't want to come off the field now, do you?
No, especially when you run in there, and that's your lone play, and it costs your team 5 yards. Not cool.
Backs the Bills up to their own 7, where it's still 3rd and goal. Too many false starts this year.
Yeah, look at that up top. That is. Well, again, that's offensive line in flux.
And we get a whistle and we get a timeout call by the Buffalo Bills. Stops the clock with 5:44 to play in the first quarter. We'll be right back. Well, you can bet Tom Brady thought he'd have his hands on the football long before now. 5:44 to play in the first quarter. 3rd and goal from the 7 for Buffalo.
There's New England really trying to confuse Fitzpatrick. Everybody just milling around, moving around.
Fitzpatrick throwing, and that's not going to complete anything. Pass intended for number 82, Josh Reed, covered by Jonathan Wilhite.
Yeah, this is not giving a quarterback a look. Take a look at them all right here. See, they're moseying around, safeties, linebackers, corners. It makes it really difficult on an offensive line to pick up the rusher. All in all, a field goal attempt is pretty disappointing for Buffalo.
This one from 25 yards out by Ryan Lindell. And it is good. So the Bills eat up most of the first quarter with an impressive ground game. And with 5:36 to play in the first quarter, the Bills grab a 3-0 lead. Not much left to the first quarter thanks to the Buffalo Bills ground game. 14 plays, 69 yards in just under 9.5 minutes. Ryan Lindell, who kicked the field goal, will kick it away to Lawrence Maroney and Matthew Slater. Short kick, very short kick. Bounces just inside the 20 and picked up by Slater. And he doesn't get it back to the 25. And onto the field comes Tom Brady. Tom Brady getting his first look at the offense when we come back. Stadium in Buffalo. Tom Brady starts in the shotgun from his own 24-yard line. And he'll throw. Running out of time, and now throws to the near side off the hands of Kevin Falk out of the backfield. The Patriot quarterback closing in on a 4,000-yard passing season, 23 touchdown passes, completing 65% of his throws on the season, and a brand new Papa to boot. Congratulated Tom last night. And are you getting much sleep? Is it not really?
Yeah, he and Giselle just named their son 2 days ago Benjamin.
Here is Maroney. Maroney spins out of a tackle. 30, 35, across the 35 and a first down. Changes up front for New England. On the right side, Dan Connolly for Stephen Neal at guard, Sebastian Vollmer for Nick Kazur at tackle. And who has more catches than anyone in the NFL? Number 83, Wes Welker, 105 of them coming in, and a healthy Lawrence Maroney running the football these days.
The good news is Sebastian Vollmer, who starts there at right tackle, started 5 games earlier this season at left tackle for Matt Light.
This is Maroney, left side, across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. A good front four for Buffalo in Kelsey, Stroud, Williams, and team sack leader Aaron Schobel. The Bills' leading tackler Paul Posluszny at middle linebacker, flanked by Scott and Draft. And the secondary that in certain situations will add the rookie Jarris Byrd, who leads the NFL in interceptions with 9. The Buffalo Bills lead the National Football League with 25 picks. 2nd and 3. Maroney brought down at the 45-yard line, and we get our first NFL Today report of the day with James Brown. JB. And let us say good to hear your voice too, JB. Thank you. A lot of teams still in the hunt for the wild card. On 3rd and 2, the pitch for Welker. First down to midfield.
A little razzle-dazzle here from the Patriots on a 3rd and short. They are not a real power football team, so any play like this shouldn't really come as a surprise. And why not give it to a guy who's so good after the catch as a receiver? Why not get it into his hands on a running play? Wes Welker is a very gifted guy, and when it comes time to advance the ball, not afraid to put his head and shoulder down and burrow into somebody.
Talk about taking a lick and keep on ticking. Sammy Morris now in the backfield. Brady, play fake. With time, going deep. Incomplete, intended for Randy Moss.
But I think it really shows something. I think it really shows how much New England would like to get Randy Moss involved in this game early, because he is bracketed. Byrd, Florence are both there, and Tom Brady lets it go anyway. I think that is really an indicator of how badly they want Randy Moss to know that we're going to try to get you the football. He tries to separate, he tries to get there, and he was close. But Tom Brady not afraid to throw into double coverage to try to let Randy Moss get involved.
2nd and 10, Brady to throw again. Throws over the middle, intercepted by Posluszny. Picked off at the 40-yard line. Brady was under pressure and found the Buffalo middle linebacker.
Well, Tom knew the pocket was collapsing around him, but that was a force underneath coverage. Got it.
More than one New England Patriot told us last night that this is an opportunistic Buffalo defense. Posluszny's interception was the 3rd for him, the 26th of the year for the NFL leaders in that category, the Buffalo Bills. It sets up the Bills now at their own 39. Fitzpatrick to throw. And we get a whistle.
Another false start on Buffalo.
False start. Offense, number 6. Penalty. Down.
Let's go back and look at that interception. I want you to watch Paul Posluszny. Here he is right here. Watch him. He never takes his eyes off of Tom Brady. He never looks for a receiver. One quick glance, he's right back on Brady. Look at that. He never takes his eyes away from Tom Brady. He let Brady's eyes take him to the football, and that was a really nice piece of underneath coverage by their middle linebacker.
1st and 15 now at the 34. The pitch for Fred Jackson. Running room. And back across the original line of scrimmage and then some, out to about the 42-yard line. Adalis Thomas, Gary Guyton combined for the tackle.
You've really got to give some props to these guys up front for Buffalo, considering, again, all the changes. Buffalo has more people on IR than any team in the league except Detroit, with which they're tied. 16 different players on IR, a couple of them their starting tackles, a starting guard. 3 starters on that offensive line are out for the season. And yet the replacements are playing pretty darn good football here today so far.
On 2nd and 7, Fitzpatrick goes down. Number 99, Mike Wright. His 5th sack of the season.
Well, Mike Wright got the start for Ty Warren, but Mike Wright is not just a backup football player for New England. He gets a lot of starts. He starts as many games as he sits out and not starting. He's the first guy in, and a very talented, hard-working, grinding defensive lineman. That's his 5th sack of the year, and that's getting it done.
Wasn't much of a block on him at the line of scrimmage.
No.
3rd and 12.
Again, everybody's standing up for New England.
Another big rush, and again, Fitzpatrick goes down.
Well, yeah, that is so smart by New England, trying to take advantage of a new offensive line, a new guard in incognito, rather than just make it easy and putting a guy in a down stance. Hey, everybody stand up. Who the heck is coming and who isn't coming? And you can see right there, unblocked, coming right through the A gap is Ninkovich. And he created the initial chaos that results in a sack.
Wes Welker deep for the kick. Fair catch called for and made at the 25-yard line. Tom Brady coming back, still down 3-0. We're back to Buffalo right after this. Welcome back to Buffalo. Just 46 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and only the 2nd possession of the day. For Brady and company. Brady over the middle, short pass. Penalty marker is down as Randy Moss makes the catch and moves it out to the 34. And this looks like it's going to go against New England. Tony Correnti is our referee today.
Actually, I think it's against Buffalo.
I think you're right. That's what I get for listening to the Bills.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, defense number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Drayton Florence, the cornerback, guilty.
Drayton Florence over there pleading his case, lined up against Julian Edelman, and he did plant the right hand right in the face mask, right in front of that official. You know, it's awfully hard for a corner. You really want to shoot your hands out there as quickly as you can. You want to get that good jam. You want to interrupt his departure from the line of scrimmage. And if that guy ducks or moves up and down, you know, it happens more often than you would think. Certainly not intentionally, but it just, unfortunately, when it does happen, it happens right in front of the official.
On first down, here is Maroney. Maroney running room up the middle. And out very close to a first down at the 40-yard line, brought down by Kyle Williams as we enter the final 10 seconds of the first quarter. And time will run down before we get another snap off. We've come to the end of the first quarter here in Buffalo with the score. The Bills 3, the Patriots nothing. We're coming back to Ralph Wilson Stadium right after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 44. As we welcome you back to Buffalo, time of possession greatly favoring the Buffalo Bills. They had it for over 11 minutes.
Well, when's the last time you saw a quarter where Tom Brady didn't have a completed pass in that quarter? He was 0 for 3.
Maroney with running room. Across the 45, out to about the 47-yard line. Posluszny with the tackle, and we'll take the opportunity to remind you, play fantasy football during the postseason for a chance to win $5,000. You can sign up now for Playoff Challenge at cbsports.com/fantasy.
And for those of you that are thinking, didn't Tom just complete a pass to Randy Moss across the middle? Yes, he did, but they accepted the penalty that was on Drayton Florence, and that negated that catch. So on the books, Brady 0 for 3 in the first quarter with an interception.
Obviously downhill. First down. Going to give it again, this time to Falk. And Falk to the 45 of the Bills, where it'll be a 3rd and 2.
There's nothing that Kevin Falk doesn't do for the New England Patriots. pass block, pass receiving. He runs the ball. He's got a 5.2 yards per carry average. 11 years out of LSU. Man, he has paid a lot of dividends over the years.
I beg your pardon, that was a first down play, so this is 2nd and 3, and this is Sammy Morris with a first down.
Well, and now this was what the Patriots thought they could do to Buffalo, because Buffalo statistically is the worst team in the league at defending the run. They are 32nd out of 32, giving up over 170 yards a game on the ground. And even though the Patriots are a pass-first football team, they still think they can pound away at it today.
New England with 55 rushing yards today, and still not a single passing yard from Brady. And we get movement up front.
False start, offense, number 70.
That's Logan
5-yard
Mankins,
penalty remains.
the left guard.
First down.
Well, I know that Logan Mankins gets called for that, but that looked like there was confusion up and down the line. He's talking to Dan Cope in the center. There looked like Tom Brady was starting to come out. The whole thing just appeared to be a little bit off kilter.
Meanwhile, that vaunted passing game with 2 fine receivers is yet to develop. 1st and 15. Brady going deep for Moss. Caught it at the goal line. Dante Whitner.
Well, he was interfered with as well. I think Dante Whitner interfered with Randy Moss, and Moss brings it down anyway.
Pass interference, defense number 20 with early contact on the receiver. Automatic first down.
So Randy Moss, did he not catch the ball? The interference is obvious right here. He has to slow. Oh no, the ball goes right through his hands, and he ends up with it at the end. From our vantage point, you couldn't see it go through his hands. That was an underthrow by Tom Brady. Randy Moss had a step on Whitner, and Whitner not playing the ball, but playing Randy Moss, interferes with Moss well before the ball gets there.
Dante Whitner had no clue where the football was. Brady throwing. Almost picked, and another penalty marker flies.
Marcus Stroud, a defensive tackle, he almost could have intercepted that ball.
Pass interference, offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Pete, first down.
That's Mark LaVore, an offensive lineman.
Well, the only way an offensive lineman gets called for pass interference, he was in playing tight end in that short yardage situation. So he declares himself as an eligible receiver. There he is, number 64. See him right over here. And right there, that is just a classic pick play as he runs right into Chris Draft.
So the line of scrimmage now the 13. Kevin Falk in the backfield with Brady. Brady throwing, end zone. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown, Randy Moss.
Well, how good was that? That was a laser from Tom Brady that had some real big-time juice on it, and Randy Moss makes a fingertip grab and does the two-step and gets him down. Let's see possession. At first blush, it looked like he had both down. This crowd screaming for a challenge flag.
The extra point is good, and there is no challenge flag prior to the kick. 12:34 to play, second quarter. New England comes back down the field and grabs a 7-3 lead.
Back at Buffalo, look at Randy Moss. We get a good look at it where he's got the ball in his hands. Both feet were down. The key, the ball didn't move at all after it stuck his hands.
On the kick, bounces once, and from the 9-yard line, it's Fred Jackson. Jackson coming to the near side, trying to turn the corner, and is cut down at about the 27-yard line by number 27, Kyle Arrington. Take another look at the TD pass. Tom Brady to Randy Moss. 7-3 Patriots. From the 27-yard line. Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Buffalo Bills now down 7-3. The give to Marshawn Lynch, and a late penalty flag flies in.
Holding, offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
That's the center, Jeff Hangardner, and the Buffalo landscape now being painted with an ugly yellow.
Well, they had just that magnificent drive to start the game. They get all the way down to the 2-yard line, and they have a false start that puts them in a position where they end up settling for a field goal to take a 3-0 lead. And you're right, since then, it has been a lot of yellow laundry. Hangardner, kind of a pleasant surprise. He's been able to start every game so far this season at the center position.
68 yards in penalties for Buffalo. First and 20. The pitch for Lynch. Can't turn the left side and gets buried back at the 14-yard line. Time for another update from New York. Let's go over to JB and James.
Greg and Dan looking like a young man play quarterback ever. Pee Wee, Pop Warner.
In my dreams. Only in my dreams, JB.
A look at the AFC East.
But that's pretty much the way I looked.
New England in charge, Miami, and the Jets giving chase. Buffalo still alive. 2nd and 23.
Only 2 interceptions after a pepperoni pizza.
Out to the far side, that's the tight end, Shawn Nelson. That goes for very little. Thought the NFL fantasy football season was over. It is not. Sign up for NFL.com playoff challenge today, only at NFL.com/fantasy.
That last negative play we saw from New England was courtesy of Mike Wright, who's stepping in for Ty Warren at that left defensive end spot. Boys, he's been playing himself a game so far.
Just what Bill Belichick needs, too. They are very thin up front on the defensive side. 3rd and 20. Quick pass out to this side, complete to Roscoe Parrish. Parrish gets a block and is out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. That'll be about 10 yards shy of a first down.
And those are the kind of passes that the Bills told us that we're going to see a lot of. The quick stuff. They don't want Ryan Fitzpatrick going back there and sitting in the pocket being a target. They want him on the move. They want 3-step drops. They want a lot of screens. That's how much respect they have for the Patriots to get after him if he's a stationary target.
Wes Welker deep for the upcoming kick from Brian Moorman. Welker at the 30. Back to about the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. We'll take a timeout. 9:41 to play in the first half. Nine minutes, 41 seconds to play here in the second quarter. New England with the football on a 7-3 lead from their own 41-yard line. Brady with time, crossing pattern. Randy Moss, running room, out of bounds, inside the 45.
Well, Randy Moss has been busy today. You knew they wanted to get him involved early. Here, even into double coverage, Tom Brady tries to get it to Moss. Then deep, he goes again into double, but he gets interfered with by Dante Whitner. And then this beautiful touchdown catch. And Randy Moss, as we just saw again, makes a reception.
This is Maloney. And Maloney tied up at the line of scrimmage. Chris Kelsey.
And did anybody think, Greg, that there was even a remote possibility that the Patriots were going to start this game and not try to get the ball to Randy Moss early? You know they want to put everything to bed about whether he tried very hard last week against Carolina. Everything. This is how that's now on the back page of the paper. The front page is Randy Moss off to a good start here today.
On 2nd and 10, Brady. And there is a rare drop by Welker, and we're going to get a flag.
A late flag. Drayton Florence again in the middle of this.
Holding, defense number 20. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, the hold is called on Dante Whitner. All right, here's Florence on Welker. Well, he did grab his jersey. You could see as Welker tried to pull away, he had a hold of his jersey. Now, whether or not Whitner did something away from the ball, I'm not sure, but you could see Welker try to break, and his jersey got stretched there by Drayton Florence.
It's a New England first down at the 38. Brady throwing this side, and that is complete to Moss inside the 30-yard line. And very close to a first down.
Boy, that's a good throw by Tom Brady. You know, people talk about Brady's accuracy and everything else. This is pure, unadulterated arm strength right here. That's what that is.
You mentioned earlier, Dan, he's fighting a couple of little nicks and pains and bruises, and one of them is on his right hand.
Yep, he's got a bad finger on his throwing hand. He's got a sore shoulder. He's got some ribs that bother him.
2nd and 1. Maloney buried by Kozlowski.
Well, that is how you blow up a play from a middle linebacker's perspective. You're trying to you run a draw right up the middle, and he just goes right through the gap unblocked. This has no chance whatsoever. Chris Baker, the tight end, is trying to come down and trap him, but that's no way that's going to happen with him being that far into your backfield.
Loss of 6 makes it 3rd and 7.
Great read by Kozlowski.
Welker in motion. Brady throwing over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Welker.
And Brady gets hit right on the knee. I think it's Aaron Schobel who jumps over a block and comes right down on Tom Brady's leg. Watch Schobel. He's standing here. He comes on the loop. Right in the middle. He goes over the block by Kevin Falk. Does that look familiar? He lands, and luckily he didn't hit that leg very hard.
Parrish and Jackson are deep for the kick. Hanson trying to kill this one inside the 10, but the fair catch is made by Fred Jackson at about the 11 or the 12-yard line. 7:32 to play. Tom Brady talking with Tony Correnti about the low hit. About 7.5 minutes to play here in the first half. New England with a 7-3 lead. Fred Jackson in the backfield as the Bills try to get back some of that offensive mojo they began the game with. Here's Jackson. Gets some running room out across the 15 to about the 18-yard line. And let's go back to that last play involving Tom Brady.
Yeah, a couple things. Here's Aaron Schobel right here, but here's Kevin Falk back here. The mistake is really by Falk of going for the cut instead of hitting him high. When he goes for the cut, that really leaves Schobel nowhere to go. His legs are taken out from under him, and he falls awkwardly onto the leg of Tom Brady. As that back stays in there, he's got to stick that guy in the chest, stop his momentum, but don't cut him, because that just means you're creating a flying body towards your quarterback.
On 2nd and 5, Fitzpatrick throwing, and that's across the 30-yard line and complete to Lee Evans. And Evans has a first down at the 34.
Well, this pressure from New England up the middle, but good job by the front of picking it up. Gary Guyton, the blitzer that comes in, and he gets handled. And Lee Evans, who's not been as big a part of this offense as he would like, hasn't complained about it, but
a guy for his career averaging 15.5 yards a catch. Jackson turns the corner, 40, and out of bounds close to midfield. That'll be good for another Buffalo first down.
A nice decision by Fred Jackson of sensing the soft corner to his right. He sees it, and you can see Pierre Woods, number 58, the linebacker, gave way too much ground to the inside. He had to contain to that side. He got collapsed back inside and wasn't able to set the edge. And let me tell you something, setting the edge is something that Bill Belichick is very big on, and it didn't get done there.
Line of scrimmage is the 48-yard line of the Buffalo Bills, who have run the ball very well today. Fitzpatrick. Penalty marker flies, and he dives across midfield, and a second marker flies.
Well, one was thrown by the referee, Tony Careni, the second from the umpire, Fred Bryan.
Holding, offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat.
That would be the newcomer, Richie Incognito, who, as I mentioned earlier, Dan, comes with a little baggage.
Well, he certainly does. A huge fine this week from the NFL for a couple of headbutts. There he is on the left side of your screen. He hooks Mike Wright, gets his left arm up in the throat. But let's not underestimate what Incognito is trying to do here today. He's starting a football game, playing a football game. He got here on Wednesday, and this offense shares no terminology with what he knew with the Rams.
First and 20 now, and right up the middle is Jackson. As we approach 5 minutes to play now in the first half, there's T.O.
And Terrell Owens has not been a huge part of this offensive output. Got a 9-yard reception so far. T.O. signed a 1-year deal here in Buffalo. Said he's open to coming back. He would entertain the thought, but most people believe that Terrell Owens will be playing someplace else next year. He told us yesterday he'd like to play 2 or 3 more years.
Second and 14, the pitch to Jackson with blockers in front of him, trying to turn the corner, and he does, getting up to midfield, where Brandon Merriweather makes the stop.
Well, you know, that's irritating to Bill Belichick when Fred Jackson is able to get strung out that far, having to run laterally, and then still able to turn it upfield and pick up some positive yardage. I think Bill Belichick is doing one of his best coaching jobs ever this year. This is not an extremely talented Patriots team, especially defensively. And there's a lot of duct tape and baling wire going on here with the job that Belichick is doing, keeping this thing going.
Both Marshawn Lynch and Fred Jackson in the backfield now on 3rd and 8. Fitzpatrick rolling and throwing and intercepted. It'll be Patriot ball. Jonathan Wilhite picked it off.
Boy, and Wilhite was the key for him was coming down inbounds. He was really close to the sideline. Now he's lined up here on Josh Reed. And boy, did he just stay with him all the way.
Gee, what's the difference in that play, Dan, and what Dante Whitner did against Randy Moss? I think Wilhite saw the football coming.
Well, you don't intercept the football without playing the football, that's for sure. And you're right, that's a big difference. That was some athletic move by Wilhite, getting spun, spiraling back around, and staying locked onto the football.
Brady and company now on first down over the middle. Welker, and Welker out to midfield. It'll be a first down as we come up on 3:20 to play here in the first half.
Now, this accomplishment of Wes Welker's is nothing short of extraordinary. 105 receptions coming into today's game, and you know, most people, unless you're a real Patriots fan and follow this team closely, don't know that he missed 2 games earlier in the season. He missed 2 complete games where he was inactive.
Yet he has 5 100-yard games and 6 games with 10 or more receptions. On the end around, Matthew Slater still on his feet and inside the 45 of the Buffalo Bills.
Greg, you talk about those 10 receptions. It's not just being the target. It's what happens after you make those 10 receptions. And it's where you make those receptions. And when you make them inside the numbers where Wes Welker does, there are big people in there, linebackers.
And he's not one of them.
And he's not one of them. So it's the actual carnage that happens to him after the catch.
Here's Maroney coming to the near side, turning the corner, and out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Drayton Florence cut him down, and that stops the clock with 2:12 to play. And now they will wind the clock, and it doesn't appear that the Patriots will get another play off before the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo. Low-scoring game. Patriots have the edge, 7-3. On the Sprint halftime report, our friend and colleague Steve Tasker, part of the Ring of Honor here in Buffalo. And here's Randy Moss inside the 20 and out of bounds at about, or inside the 25 to about the 21 or 22.
Boy, they're changing things up a little bit rather than going deep. Randy Moss just working out of the slot, working underneath, and you can see it's actually Wes Welker who is running the outside pattern. Boy, what a nice block at the end of that by Julian Edelman. But that's the second time now that underneath Randy Moss has been wide open working against the Buffalo zone.
Moss 4 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown today. Brady. Oh! Hit number 27, Reggie Corner, with that pass. And I think it's safe to say Reggie Corner probably wasn't expecting it.
No, I think that's safe to say. Reggie Corner is trying to shadow Wes Welker. That ball well behind Welker. Some confusion between Wes and Tom Brady as to where he was supposed to be.
Second and 10. Brady pumps, goes deep this side, incomplete.
And there's an interference flag.
And that is against Reggie Corner trying to guard Wes Welker.
Well, Tom Brady pump fakes to the other side, to Randy Moss's side, to influence the safety, which means there's just single coverage on the other side. Was that a catchable ball? That might be something they're discussing.
Pass interference. Defense, number 27. As a foul occurred in the end zone, the ball replaced.
So Wes Welker running an unusual deep pattern, and right there, Corner's got his hands all over Welker. He's got his hands on Wes Welker like he's inside that 5-yard bump zone.
The amazing thing to me is not that the penalty was called, is that how can you argue that call?
Well, I just like the fact they're giving Wes Welker here a little something that just the heavy lifting inside the numbers, letting him go downfield a little bit, and it completely surprised Buffalo. But a great job by Brady of pumping to Moss's side, setting up the single on the other.
Play clock down to 2, and Brady has to call timeout. Brady not real happy as we take a break.
A little confusion here for the Patriots, number 64, Mark LaVore. Watch this. Oh, I think I'll go to the right tight end. No, maybe I'm on the left. No, oh, wait a minute. Tom Brady has no choice but to call a timeout.
Each team with 2 timeouts remaining, and Brady is stuffed at the goal line.
I'm not sure he even got back to the line of scrimmage. There was nothing going on there. They didn't get any push at all against Buffalo.
No gain on the play. Second and goal from the 1.
Second and goal.
A lot of times the quarterback sneak, if the defense isn't quite settled in, they haven't dug in, they haven't really got themselves in a good alignment in terms of the lineman getting low, that quick quarterback sneak can be effective.
Maroney, the deep back, gets the handoff. Short of the end zone. It'll it'll be 3rd and goal.
That's a test of wills now. It's December. It's cold outside. Can we impose our will on the other team? That's what both of these units are thinking right now. There's a part of Bill Belichick that just wants to see if his team is tough enough to muscle it up and jam it in.
Coming up on half a minute to play. Maroney to the end zone for the touchdown.
I'm telling you right now, Bill Belichick is not the kind of a guy in that situation, after being stuffed twice, that would want to resort to a play action or a bootleg or something like that. It, again, just a test of strength and will, and that was good blocking on the right side of the Patriots offensive line.
Mark Lavore, number 64, kind of...
Sebastian Vollmer got a good block in there as well.
Gostowski, the extra point. And with 24 seconds to play in the first half, New England on the touchdown run by Lawrence Maroney. His 9th rushing touchdown of the year. Leads at 14-3. Maybe he was seeing signs to come, but Lawrence Maroney is one happy camper when we talked to him last night, wasn't he?
I think he's happy most of the time. Pretty good-natured guy.
From the 4-yard line, Fred Jackson trying to get some field position. 25, 30, still on his feet. Coming to the near side, trying to turn the corner. And out of bounds just short of the 45-yard line. Good run back from Fred Jackson.
That makes Bobby April, their special teams coach, pretty happy. You got to wonder what they can do with it with 13 seconds. You know, when Perry Fuel gets his team in there at halftime, he knows. I don't know for sure what he's going to talk about, but I'm assuming he may address the fact that they have 8 penalties for 104 yards in damages.
That may be on the list.
Might be on the list. And 2 huge pass interference calls that really set up New England.
13 seconds on the clock. Buffalo with 2 timeouts remaining. The line of scrimmage, the Bills 45. Fitzpatrick throwing far side of the field, and that is catch is said to be made at the 48-yard line of the Patriots by Josh Reed. That's a pretty good catch by number 82.
It sure looked like it. Talk about elevating at the right time. Did he get possession before he goes out of bounds?
I say yes.
Where does he secure it? He secures it right there. And it looked like he had both feet down. Looked like the official there had a good look at it.
Hey, screen go be to this side.
7 seconds on the game clock. And timeout taken by the Patriots, and I'm sure we're getting an automatic review upstairs.
30-second timeout.
We'll take a break. Bill Belichick appeared to have just gotten the word from an official that that was a good catch, but you'd have to think that that was the reasoning behind him calling the timeout.
Well, sure, he wanted to give the official upstairs a chance to take a good look at it, whether or not he should buzz Tony Correni to come and take a peek, but it looked like a really good catch.
Josh Reed, middle of the field, and the clock stops with 3 seconds to play.
Ryan Fitzpatrick just floating out of the pocket a little bit. Josh Reed, that ball came loose. Did it bounce off the field? That was a heck of an effort on his part.
That's 2 pretty good catches right in a row by Josh Reed, and then it will set up Ryan Lindell for a long field goal attempt. Lindell has a 56-yarder this year.
What wind there is would seem to be at his back, although it swirls notoriously in this stadium.
And he will try this one from 56 yards out. On its way. And he pulled it left. That's the end of our first half. New England 14, Buffalo 3. Back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. Look at some halftime numbers, and the time of possession has been dominated by the Bills, and obviously that means absolutely nothing because it's 14-3 Pats on the board.
Yeah, neither team has done much offensively. I'm sure if you told Perry Fuel going in you're going to hold New England to 130 yards in the first half, he'd be very pleased. But that last penalty number, 8 for 104, that the Bills are not a good enough football team to overcome that kind of a stat.
Second half about to come your way in high definition. And the Bills will kick it away to New England. From the 10-yard line, it's Lawrence Mooney. Back to the 25, to the 30, and we get a penalty marker.
And we see sunshine has broken out here in western New York. And where weather has played such a big part on the here in the East, it's really a nice day for football here.
During the return, holding number 25. 10-yard penalty, first down.
This, of course, is the western part of the East.
It is, and thankfully it is.
Look at that. Fewest completions in a first half for Tom Brady since the 06 season against these same Buffalo Bills.
You got him.
They'll start from the 20. Randy Moss at the top of the screen. Brady throws, and that's complete to Welker. That's only about a 4-yard pickup. Reggie Corner makes the stop.
Well, a lot of the patterns run by Wes Welker are really just an extension of the New England running game. They're about 95% completion percentage because they're so short. Tom Brady is exceptional at throwing these short little patterns to Welker, and of course Wes Welker might be the quickest receiver in the National Football League. Not the fastest, but in terms of change of direction quickness, he's right there at the top.
5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. Moss in the slot to the near side. Brady gonna go deep. Down the near sideline, tipped incomplete. Terrence McGee tipped it away from Sam Aiken.
But again, Sam Aiken is out there on the edge because of the Randy Moss effect. You put Randy Moss in the slot and you run him down the middle of the field. That's where the safety is going. So it ends up being one-on-one coverage, and in this situation, Terrence McGee was up to the task. That was well done by McGee, playing the football stride for stride with the receiver.
Good things seem to happen when you turn and find the football.
Yes, they do.
3rd and 5.
But if you're a safety, you find Randy Moss.
Moss at the bottom of the screen. Brady, quick pass, misfired with Welker. And that'll force the punt. Kyle Williams in on Brady.
And that was good work by the secondary of the Bills because they held the guys up. They covered everybody. Tom Brady cannot find anybody. He's got enough time to deliver the football, and that is just coverage pressure as he goes down.
Chris Hansen to kick for New England. Parrish and Josh Reed are deep. Caught and dropped and covered by Reed. Clock stops on the field. 13:51 to play, 3rd quarter. Welcome back to Buffalo as the Bills try to get something started from their own 37-yard line. Fred Jackson in the backfield behind Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it is Jackson up the middle to about the 40 before he is driven back. Jarvis Green with the stop, and tonight on 60 Minutes, an amazing journey to where the Christian religion was first organized and the Gospels written, the Sunday before Christmas on CBS.
Again, a reminder, if you weren't with us at the very beginning, Vince Wilfork and Ty Warren, the two very talented defensive linemen for the Patriots, are not here. They're inactive today because of injury. And there's the rookie Ron Brace, who's filling in for Vince Wilfork on the nose.
2nd and 7, the pitch for Jackson. Jackson hit hard. and falls forward across the line of scrimmage. But boy, Mike Wright has played himself a game.
Boy, you better believe it. Now, Mike Wright is no rookie. He's a fifth-year guy, and he plays a lot for the Patriots and starts quite often. There he is over there, right on the left of your screen, number 99. But look at him fight off the block, doesn't give any ground. And Sean Nelson, the rookie tight end, you know, once you're into that guy, you got to stay with it. You can't just put a shoulder pad on him and then come off of him and free him up to hit your ball carrier.
Now Marshawn Lynch and Jackson are both in the backfield on 3rd and 6.
And again, New England not declaring not anybody in a three-point stance.
Quick pass to Jackson on the side, looking for a block and can't get one. Out to the 42-yard line, and that'll force the punt. Derek Burgess, big defensive play for New England.
Boy, it's tough to identify who's going into coverage and who's going to rush when nobody gets down in a three-point stance and acts like a defensive lineman, and that's exactly the look that the Patriots gave Buffalo right there.
That's Wes Welker. And Welker will let it bounce. And it takes a New England roll before the Bills down it at about the 24-yard line. We're coming back to Buffalo after this. Buffalo wings galore in this neck of the woods. Welcome back to Buffalo, everyone.
And good they are.
First down from the 24-yard line. Brady gives to Maroney. Maroney reverses field. Out to about the 28-yard line. And George Wilson coming up from the secondary for the stop.
Lawrence Maroney has been healthy this year, and that's something that he really wants to do. He hasn't played all 16 games yet in a season in his 3 prior years, and being healthy is something he's pretty proud of. And he has a weekly meeting with Bill Belichick. They sit down every Friday and Saturday and watch film, just the two of them. And it's something he really looks forward to and thinks he's learning a great deal from.
Brady throws and caught close to the 45-yard line by Randy Moss. Boy, I got to tell you, I think they missed an obvious hold back in the backfield.
And Terrence McGee is hurt.
While they take a look at Terrence McGee, we'll take a break. Terrence McGee walked off the field holding his right arm.
Yeah, they really tried to immobilize it. He had some collision with Randy Moss as Brady threw it where Moss had to make a play for him, and he did.
Brady throwing, and that's complete to Sammy Morris out of the backfield. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Terrence McGee.
Under tremendous pressure, Brady throws his ball. There's McGee on the lower left, and he just arrives at the point where the ball is at the same time Randy Moss does. And somehow something happened as they walked to the sideline. They were holding that right arm almost as if it was in a sling, trying very hard not to move it in any way.
2nd and 8, the give to Morris, and Morris off the left side and across midfield to about the 46 before Posluszny makes the stop.
Again, I think we have to go back to that last play, Greg, and point out Randy Moss going into the middle of the field. Now, let's face it, we all know he doesn't love it in there. And knowing that he was going to get hit, he could see McGee coming at him, and yet he went for the football. He made the play and took a big hit. It's unfortunate that McGee got hurt, but Randy Moss, you can't say much about the way he's playing today.
5 catches for 70 yards. Maroney left side, first down and then some. We talked about the AFC playoff picture at the top of the day. Indianapolis, San Diego, Cincinnati, New England division leaders. Denver and Baltimore, the wild card contenders now, but look at all the teams that are still in the hunt, including the Buffalo Bills, but they need a win here today.
Well, and for New England being 8-5, you see that Miami and the Jets both only 1 game behind them, so they have very little in the way of breathing room.
On first down, Maroney again. Maroney still on his feet to about the 32-yard line. It's my imagination, Dan, or did Lawrence Maroney come into our meeting room yesterday evening and we said, "Hi, Lawrence," and then he talked for about half an hour.
He did. He was in a fine mood. We discussed everything from playing football to Christmas shopping. Yep. What he was doing for his nieces and nephews back in St. Louis, where he has done an awful lot, his hometown, and in the community, setting up foundations and working with different hospitals and whatnot. He's really doing a nice job.
Sammy Morris now inside the 30. I wonder if his meetings with Belichick go like that.
Well, it's funny. He really looks forward to these, where he and Bill will sit down and watch every one of his runs from the prior week. Bill will tell him what he thought of it. He'll say if he thought he did poorly, if he did really well, and
he'll explain why he did what he did.
And now that Josh McDaniels isn't here calling plays anymore, Bill Belichick's very involved in the offensive game plan. And it's pretty smart by Lawrence. He's going right to the head man there. Suck it up to him. Why not?
Here's Lawrence left side, cuts inside the 25 to about the 23. And we'll take the opportunity to remind you, Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Phil Simms, Chris Collinsworth, Warren Sapp come your way with the Emmy Award-winning Inside the NFL, cable's longest-running show, Inside the NFL, Wednesday on Showtime.
Well, this is another good drive here by New England, just steadily going right down the field.
Ben Jarvis, Green, Ellis in the backfield for the first time today.
Look at that, 14-3 first downs.
Big time play on defense. Spencer Johnson, 6th-year D lineman out of Auburn.
Well, that's kind of been the story of the Bills all year. They'll make the negative plays. They'll really make the big hit. They'll come in there and they'll just crush a play like this. And then all of a sudden, a couple missed tackles, somebody gets a crease, and what's a 3 or 4 yard run becomes a 14 or 15 yard run. And that's really been that play, that kind of a microcosm of their season. They haven't tackled very well all year long.
One-on-one coverage on Randy Moss at the top of the screen. The quick pass to the near side to Welker. Welker inside the 20, inside the 15.
I just have to say 2 stats. 5'9", 185 pounds. In a game where the players are getting bigger and bigger, Wes Welker is a small man. Just look at that change. Look at that little jump cut of his. And then right here, look at him go. Of course, he gets a little help from Sebastian Vollmer, number 76, who just kind of gets his hands in there and kind of pulls Welker forward.
We were talking about Welker with Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick says Welker is just really competitive and all-day tough. 3rd and 1.
And man, was he a bargain for the Patriots.
Maroney, left side, 1st down. To the 10.
He had to outrun Kyle Williams, who got into the backfield there and forced him, I think, wider than he wanted to go, but he still made something positive out of it. Maroney only played 3 games last year. Remember, he ended up on injured reserve because of a shoulder.
Red zone has been good to the Patriots today. 2 trips, 2 touchdowns. Maroney and Morris in the backfield now. This is Maroney. He can't turn the corner this time. Run out of bounds by Drayton Florence.
Well, Kyle Williams again was the guy that forced him out and into the support of Florence. That's twice in 3 plays where Kyle Williams has gotten across the line of scrimmage.
We saw Buffalo begin this game with a long drive that ended in a field goal. You get the feeling that the Bills need to do that on defense here against the Patriots.
Yeah, and that was a huge disappointment for Buffalo because they'd made it to the 2-yard line and then had a false start and had to settle for 3.
Randy Moss in motion. Brady, near side, incomplete.
Oh, Wes Welker ended up on the ground. Tom is throwing to a spot, and Welker's not there because he fell. There's Welker coming right in there. Oh, and he stumbles over his own guy. He runs into the back of Julian Edelman and actually trips over Edelman's heel. That was going to be a completion. Welker ran the route, and I don't know if he expected Edelman to get a little more separation downfield. Edelman got jammed and Welker ran into it.
So with that incomplete pass, the Bills do get the stop, force the field goal attempt from 30 yards out by Gostkowski. Kick is up and it is good. And with 4:43 to play in third, New England leading it by a score of 17-3. Welcome back to Buffalo, where New England goes 64 yards in 14 plays, puts 3 more points on the board, and Gostkowski kicks it away. Around the 6-yard line is Fred Jackson, and Jackson 25, 30, and out to about the 33 or 34-yard line. Pretty good return by number 22. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll see if Buffalo can generate a little offense. Fitzpatrick and the Buffalo offense from their own 34. And he'll throw. Short pass over the middle, and that's complete to the tight end, Sean Nelson. Out to about the 40-yard line to JB in New York. James.
Greg and Dan, Vince Young, 4-6. Back to Greg and Dan.
Not doing a whole lot for those Miami Dolphin playoff hopes. It's Marshawn Lynch.
All right, that's it.
And Lynch powers it to the 45-yard line and enough for a first down.
Well, so far in this game, the Patriots have run more plays than the Bills, and that has been a huge problem all year for Buffalo. Take a look at that. They have run 163 fewer plays than their opponents. That's like 2+ games. And here's the standings today. The Patriots have run 41 plays, Buffalo 32. That is an unbelievable disadvantage to try to overcome. I don't recall, Greg, ever having seen a differential that large. Coming into today, 163 plays.
Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
T.O. jumped too soon.
You know, you talk about those 160. Just think of the wear and tear on your defense that has to be on the field. If you're a defensive player for the Buffalo Bills, you've basically been on the field for 2+ more games than your offensive comrades.
That's not being in a hole. That's being in a really deep hole.
Yes, it is. That is just a staggering number.
First and 15. Lynch. Out to the 43. Coming up on 2:45 to play here in the third.
Well, that's not the type of attention that you want your team to get, having the most penalty yards and a half anywhere in the NFL all season long.
And you look at Perry Fuel, and certainly the question on a lot of minds around here is, will he show enough to be the Buffalo head coach next season?
Well, he's at 500 right now at 2-2 on a team that's 5-8.
On 2nd and 12, Fitzpatrick to the sideline and completes that one to Lee Evans.
And again, on a team that has 16 players on injured reserve. And we saw another starter go to the sidelines in Terrence McGee, the cornerback, who hurt his arm somehow. So this is a wounded team, to say the least. And not only are they 16, and that's a lot of players, but there's a lot of quality on that injured reserve as well. 3 offensive lines started.
Here's an important 3rd and 4 for Fitzpatrick and the Buffalo offense. He's going to go deep. And that pass is incomplete. Coming over from his safety position is Brandon Merriweather to defend against Lee Evans.
Well, Jonathan Wilhite was the corner who had the coverage, and nice job by Merriweather coming over.
Side defense, number 53, lined up in the neutral zone. This 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
And Buffalo gets a break
They sure
on the
do.
flag going against New England.
Well, Derek Burgess, number 53, was lined up in the neutral zone. He didn't jump in. He just got sloppy and lined up with his helmet into the neutral zone.
You were talking about that injury situation for Buffalo. The word from the Bills is that cornerback Terrence McGee with that arm injury is questionable for the rest of the day. First down now inside the 45-yard line. Time for the Bills to make something happen on offense. Fitzpatrick on the move, throws, tipped and complete to Fred Jackson. That one was off the hands of tight end Jonathan Stupar.
Well, rolling to his left, a little sidearm throw here, and Stupar just can't handle it. He does nothing but get a right hand on it, but he redirects the football right to Fred Jackson.
Nice play. 31-yard line, first down.
I'm sure they practice that a great deal.
Fitzpatrick, 12 out of 14 for 101 yards throwing. This is Jackson. And Jackson refuses to go down easily, does he?
No, Fred, and this is what everyone in Buffalo likes about Fred Jackson. We talked earlier about a guy who came up the hard way going, indoor football, European football, and now that he's here, he's not going back. He's seen Paris and he wants to stay. And man alive, he does not stop digging.
Second and 8. And here's T.O. around the right side, looking for running room. Bumped out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. And that stops the clock momentarily with 11 seconds to play here in the third quarter, and we have a flag down at the 25.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second.
That is Richie Incognito.
Well, anytime you see a play like that, an end around where there's a change of direction, it's not uncommon to get a block from behind. There's Incognito. Oh, there, right there. He pushes Junior Seau from behind. See, that wasn't smart. That wasn't real smart.
And that's the reputation he brought with him. That's the end of 3 here in Buffalo. 17-3 Patriots. Back after this message and a word from your local station. Oh, what a catch. Touchdown. Randy Moss.
How good was that?
Welcome back to Buffalo, along with our producer, Mark Wolf, our director, Bob Fishman. Not just Dan and I, but everybody on our CBS Sports crew wishing you and yours a very happy holiday. Happy Randy Moss on the sideline as we start the fourth quarter. Fitzpatrick with time. Over the middle, threw it behind his receiver, Sean Nelson, who was wide open.
Not sure I can add a lot to that, Greg. You're exactly right. A wide open Sean Nelson just comes around from his tight end position and way behind him. I can see Merriweather closing, and I don't know if that affected Fitzpatrick and maybe wanting his tight end to settle down and stop before the defender gets there. But wow, that was an easy opportunity missed.
3rd and 17.
Again, look at this unorthodox look here by the Patriots.
Quick pass to this side, and that is incomplete. And there is an offensive assault that went nowhere.
That's pretty clever. That's pretty clever. Can you go anywhere without finding someone impersonating Elvis?
Unfortunately, no.
Hey, whatever you want to say about Incognito, Perry Fuel's going to give him a chance because he realizes he has talent. And what he's doing today, playing an entire game in an offense where he's only been here for 4 days, that's fairly impressive.
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick said as soon as he saw he was available, he went upstairs and said, we need him on the team. This kick inside the 10. And bouncing out of bounds. It's going to be downed at about the 9-yard line. We'll be back. Blue skies here in western New York. 13:41 to play in regulation. Brady and company from their own 9. And Brady throwing far side, complete to Kevin Falk, out of bounds at the 12.
Boy, this was pretty good effort here by Kevin Falk.
Tom Brady looking pretty comfortable in the pocket, isn't he?
He sure is, but that's, you know, Tom Brady gets a lot of help from really quality receivers. That is an incompletion 7 out of 10 times to most backs.
2nd and 7. Here is Maroney going to try the near side and squeezes through to the 15-yard line.
Have you ever noticed, Greg, that like we just saw that completion to Kevin? The good teams, that's a completion, and bad teams, it's second and 10. It's just the way it is. Good teams have good players that make better plays more often.
Now here's one of those plays that the Bills have to make on defense if they're going to think about coming close to winning this game and staying alive in the playoff race. 3rd and 4. Get a whistle, and we get a timeout called by the Bills. 13:34 to play in the 4th quarter. We're coming back to Ralph Wilson Stadium after this. The Bills have not done a good job of getting to Tom Brady. They have not reached him at all today, and in fact, no one has gotten to Brady in the previous 2 games.
Well, it's a good thing they took a timeout. They only had 10 guys on the field.
3rd and 4. Brady pulls it down, dances, time, goes deep for Randy Moss, popped up into the air and incomplete. Defending on the play was Drayton Florence.
And I think the ball hit Drayton Florence, bounces, he doesn't have any idea where it is, and it goes right off the side of his helmet. Drayton Florence playing Randy Moss all the way. Now he's with him, he's got nice tight coverage, but the ball caroms right off the side of his head.
Now Chris Hansen today has kicked for 23 and 38 yards in his 2 previous punts. This one will bounce at the 40 and take a Bills bounce before it is downed by number 27, Kyle Arrington. As the playoff race continues, next Sunday, the NFL on CBS locks in with doubleheader action featuring the Ravens and the Steelers. And in the nightcap, the Broncos against the Eagles, the Jets at Indianapolis. Those unbeaten Colts, check your local listings, beginning with the NFL Today. And on to the field for the Buffalo Bills at quarterback is the 3rd-year QB out of Stanford, Trent Edwards.
The starter at the beginning of the season.
Fitzpatrick, 12 out of 16 today for 101 yards.
The percentage was there. It's just not much in the way of yardage and no touchdowns and 1 pick.
And Edwards going to throw right off the bat. Grab. Maybe he's not going to get it away. Gary Guyton fought through a block and now a late flag.
Gary Guyton ought to cool the celebration. He doesn't realize there's a flag on the ground.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 2. The penalty assessed 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Gary Guyton has him wrapped up, but then Ron Brace is the second one in. You can see his left hand grabs the face mask of Trent Edwards. Watch his right there, he's got it, pulls the head down, and the rookie makes a mistake, forced into starting today because Vince Wilfork is not playing.
That will not improve Bill Belichick's Christmas spirit.
No, that is nothing good about negating a sack and giving them an automatic first down and 15 yards.
From the 45, Edwards to the outside, the tight end, Sean Nelson, cut down immediately on the far side by Brandon McGowan, the safety.
And this crowd, every time the Bills throw a short pass, even if it's a completion, there's a kind of a murmur that goes through this thing. Hey, we've got Lee Evans, we've got Terrell Owens. Why aren't we stretching this field a little bit? Why aren't we trying to go deep?
That's some pretty good speed on the outside, too.
It sure is. It's a couple of guys who are used to making big plays.
2nd and 10.
You'll never complete a long one if you don't throw a long one.
This one is behind Josh Reed, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Terrell Owens just hasn't been a big part of things. He was sick earlier this week. He had the flu bug, and he missed practice on both Thursday and Friday.
And sucked it up enough to come in and talk to us yesterday. 3rd and 10. Here they come. Well, Edwards got rid of it, and now the whistle's blowing. And the ball is blown dead back at the 34-yard line.
And this is so smart by the Patriots again.
Control of the defense. Progress had been stopped.
They're giving the Bills that look where everybody's standing up. They alternate. Maybe one guy gets down and Trent Edwards gets up, and he looked a little hobbled there as he took a step. He's favoring one of his legs coming off there.
That's the 4th New England sack of the day.
But they're coming from so many different angles that it's confusing Buffalo up front.
Wobbly kick that will bounce and get picked up by Welker inside the 25 and runs out at about the 27 or 28-yard line. 11 and a half minutes to play, and it is all New England Patriots right now, 17-3.
Watch Trent Edwards get bent over backwards right here by Tully Bantacane. Look at his right leg. See how he's got his right knee and his right ankle caught it underneath Bantacane.
On 1st down, Maroney. And Maroney across the 30 to about the 31, and on the sideline, Trent Edwards being looked at.
Well, I'm telling you, he really got that knee flexed and that ankle underneath. They're looking more towards the ankle. You got to give Trent Edwards a lot of credit. He was fighting to stay upright, trying to find a receiver. You know, the easy thing would have been just to go down because Bantacane really had him wrapped up, and he fought and fought and fought and got hurt for his effort.
Brady on 2nd and 8 for Maroney. Gonna change direction and come this way and get wrapped up at about the 33-yard line. Dan, let me ask you a question about this Buffalo offense. Now, granted, they've had their problems today, but if you have a guy that is considered a weapon in Terrell Owens, don't you have to find a way to get him the football?
I don't think they had confidence coming into this game that their offensive line was capable of keeping the Patriots off of their quarterback if they were going to run extended patterns. You know, we talked to them, Greg. They talked about short, intermediate stuff, 3-step drops, screens, draws. I think they conceded the long ball before this game even started.
Owens has 1 catch for 9 yards today.
Your point's well made, though.
Brady over the middle, and that eludes Wes Welker.
Well, the Buffalo defense is doing their job here in the second half. They're repeatedly giving their offense a chance to see if they can get something going.
It's the 2nd straight 3-and-out for the Patriots. And Roscoe Parrish is deep.
Sometimes if it's not working in other directions, look to your special teams for a big play.
Muffed. And down at the 46-yard line, the Bills feel they have it, and they do. Josh Reed hit him and went flying. Josh Reed, it was disaster in the making, but the Bills recovered. Well, Trent Edwards' relief stint was brief, to say the least. with that injured ankle. He is being loaded on the cart to take away, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is back in at quarterback as the Bills start from their own 46. And Fitzpatrick to throw. No.
And that's what we were talking about with the Bills and their reluctance to go deep. They just don't have enough confidence that they can protect their quarterback on a regular basis. And how badly do you feel, by the way, for Trent Edwards? He's waited months to get back in there, and he gets 3 official plays. Fred Jackson just gets run over by Tully Banta-Cain. And there is no other way to describe that. Banta-Cain did not go around him. He went over him.
5 New England sacks on the day. Try it on the ground this time. And Jackson gets it back to about the 44. It has been a sack party for the Patriots today.
Well, you can see this is Ryan Fitz. Mike Wright was the first guy to get in there. Safety blitz off the corner with Sanders. Again, they're just wrapped up that time by Guyton. Here we go again with Banta-Cain. And Banta-Cain in there again. It's just Tully Banta-Cain is the Patriots' best pass rusher. And he's having to do extra duty today without either Ty Warren or Will Fork here. Although neither one of those is exactly a real pass rusher.
Buffalo has not done well on third down conversions. Fitzpatrick throwing, and there's T.O. over the middle, looking for the first down marker. Did he get there?
It looked to me like, yeah, he's a good yard and a half short, I think.
And, you know, what would Perry Fuel have to lose by going for it at this point with 8:23 to play in the fourth?
Well, not very much. I don't think he's got much of a choice but to go for it.
Wholesale changes being made on defense by the Patriots on 4th and short yardage. And T.O. comes out.
This is where both sides now wanting to make sure they've got the right personnel packages on the field.
4th and 1. Lynch has the first down. And a little mock cheer going up from the Buffalo fans here.
Well, you know, Perry Fuel, I'm sure didn't even waste one brain cell considering whether to punt or not. That was at this stage of the game, and with your season where it is, being 5-8, you do have nothing to lose. Even though mathematically the Buffalo Bills haven't been eliminated yet from the playoff race.
On first down now, inside the New England 45, Fitzpatrick to throw. No, down at midfield.
Well, that's Banta-Cain again, who just collapses that side of the pocket. He goes right over Jonathan Scott, the tackle to that side. Geez, and now Ryan Fitzpatrick looks like he's come up a little bit nicked, and who could blame him?
6 sacks by the Patriots.
Tully Banta-Cain is up there at the top of your screen, number 79. You see him getting pushed right back in there, and there's Banta-Cain. And you could see Ryan Fitzpatrick grabbing for his right ankle.
And taking off the jacket on the sideline is first-year quarterback Brian Brom out of Louisville. Short little screen for Fred Jackson with running room. Runs over one potential tackler and gets it close to the 40-yard line of the Patriots.
Well, and I'm not sure Ryan Fitzpatrick was capable of much more of a throw than that. He doesn't look to me like someone who could really drop back there, plant on that right ankle, and then throw the football. He's making every effort to walk it off, but even just doing that little flip to the side, you could tell it really hurt.
3rd and 8.
Alert, Jack 23.
And Fitzpatrick going to throw it far side, up in the air for grab, and incomplete. Intended for Lee Evans.
And he's not able to plant his foot. He just throws that falling backwards and throws it up there. And Lee Bodden with pretty good tight coverage. But you notice how Bodden knows where the football is? Now
I noticed.
Yeah, that's a veteran corner. Lee Bodden knew where the ball was, made the play, elevated at the right time. Lee Evans really didn't have a chance at that.
And now 4th and 8. T.O. to the top of the screen.
And it is a limping Ryan Fitzpatrick at QB.
Fitzpatrick over the middle. That's caught by Josh Reed. And Reed, 20, 15, to about the 11-yard line. First down, Buffalo.
And he gets tackled by Mike Wright, the defensive end, who's all the way downfield making a play. That was a good throw. That was a really good throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Exactly where he wanted to put it on his receiver, right into his body, and even with the hit from Merriweather, held on.
From the 12-yard line. Fitzpatrick throwing near side, incomplete. Lee Evans, the closest receiver, and Sean Springs playing defense. 2nd and 10. 5:09 to play in the 4th.
Sean Springs, the aged one out there on corner. 34 years old. The legs aren't what they used to be, and having to play at corner. Sean Springs has, as they say, been there, done that. 7 years in Seattle, 5 years with the Redskins.
On 2nd and 10, they're going to give it to Marshawn Lynch, and Lynch has nowhere to go. That one had no go written all over it from the start. We are under 5 minutes to play.
Tully Bantha Kane has played a fine football game this afternoon. Mike Wright has been exceptional. He has really come through for Bill Belichick and covering up the loss of some really talented players.
3rd and 9. Lofting it for the end zone, the corner, the catch is made, but it's out of bounds. Lee Evans made the catch, but couldn't come down inbounds.
Now Lee Bodden, the corner in coverage again. We just watched him play the football. Now this time Bodden has his back. He's not quite sure where the ball is. He's just playing the receiver. There he sees the ball, but then he decides that he's going to play Josh Evans, and he didn't even get 1 foot inbounds.
Buffalo took it down the field on the opening drive of the game, and this is the 2nd time today they've been in the red zone. They haven't been in since. 4th and 9. Barely got the play off in time. The pass in and out of the hands of Josh Reed. There in a microcosm is the Buffalo season.
Yes, it is. You saw the play before, so close. Lee Evans can't come down with it. Now it's Josh Reed's turn.
Oh.
And that, I don't know what would cause a guy to miss that. He's looking right at it. It's just right there. It's right on the 8, and just he lets it get into his body, and it bounces right off the front of his shoulder pads. Well, Josh Reed really upset with himself.
As well he should be.
Well, yeah, let's be realistic. I mean, a Buffalo touchdown here, it's a one-score game with 4 minutes to play.
Here's Lawrence Maroney to the right side. As the Patriots are going to try to take some time off the clock, and we get a penalty marker down on the far side of the field. Remaining schedules in the East.
Now this division very competitive. If Buffalo loses today, they will be out of it. The Jets are winning right now, 7-3. Miami's getting beat. See where they're losing, 24-16.
And New England, that's no picnic the rest of the way. Jacksonville looked awfully tough losing to Indianapolis on Thursday night.
Yeah, the good news for New England is that Jacksonville game is back in Foxborough, and a Florida team coming up to play in cold weather. That's a break for New England.
Looks like a Florida broadcaster coming up in cold weather.
And I'm sure everyone in our audience appreciates your efforts, Greg.
Clock stops with 4:02 to play, and a reminder, CBS Sports jumps into the bowl season December 31st when Bob Stoops' Oklahoma Sooners take on Heisman runner-up Toby Gerhart and the Stanford Cardinal in the Brute Sun Bowl. And on New Year's Day, West Virginia battles the Florida State Seminoles in coaching legend Bobby Bowden's final game in the Conaca Minolta Gator Bowl. Bowl action coming your way here on CBS.
For those of you out there who have not watched a Stanford football game and seen Toby Gerhart run the football, do me and yourselves a favor. Watch that game against Oklahoma. He is sensational. And boy, when he runs it and people come up to tackle him, it reminds me of Larry Zonka. People fall off of him.
I'm going to use your favorite phrase. He's a man.
He's a man. I'm telling you, he sheds tacklers. It looks like Larry Zonka.
2nd and 11. Brady throws it away.
Oh,
it'll
flag.
be 3rd and 11.
Got a flag thrown by the linesman over there.
There's the timeout situation. Here's Tony
Tripping,
Correnti.
offense number 86. This penalty has been declined. 3rd down.
Call is on Chris Baker.
You see more tripping calls in the last month or so.
Why is that?
I don't know. And some of them have been really flagrant, of course.
I mean, it's a clear indication that a man has gotten beaten on a play.
Oh, I think back to Flozell Adams and the one where he tripped Justin Tuck, and Tuck ended up getting injured and missed some games. You know, it's just an instinctive thing. You know you're beaten. It's like the last thing you could possibly do to stop the guy.
Brady. Pumps. Goes deep. Far side. Incomplete. Intended for Sam Aiken, number 88.
Oh, and Aiken had it. Somehow, right into double coverage, that throw from Tom Brady comes right down to him. Look at this.
You know,
now that's interference. That is a case there where Reggie Corner got away with it, because right before the ball gets there, he reached out and he pulled Aiken's left hand back. He pulled his arm back. But it was so close before the ball got, but that was interference.
4th and 11. Roscoe Parrish deep. This is a returnable kick from the 49-yard line. Parrish still on his feet inside the 30, and a fine return by Parrish. 3:37 to play in regulation. Coming up, the Subway postgame show. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest NFL scores and highlights. I'm sure they will update the playoff picture, all coming up on the Subway postgame show. And if the Buffalo Bills don't do something in a hurry, they aren't going to be part of that playoff picture.
Well, they've made more than enough mistakes to single out in this game. But, you know, let's just go back to that most recent one, that drop by Josh Reed. If they continue that drive and could have made this a 17-10 game, there was so much time left in here to force themselves into a position where they could have tied this up. They still have enough time to do it. They just haven't shown enough offensive firepower to make you think they can do it.
Fitzpatrick throwing. Got his man inside the 15. That's Reed, and he held on for a first down at the 11. Clock continues to move. The Bills are down to 1 timeout.
And if they could just stuff this thing in, this is going to get really interesting. When Josh Reed didn't mess around with that ball. He made sure he pulled that in tightly.
3:10 to play. Rolling far side, and that is caught for the touchdown.
Well,
Lee Evans.
And we've been watching Lee Bodden, the corner on that side, who's been having to do a lot of work here in the last 5 minutes. And that time it was just a sensational piece of work by Lee Evans. And a back shoulder throw by Fitzpatrick, allowing him to come back and make a play on the ball.
This was set up by a really good punt return by Roscoe Parrish. And the Bills take it in and now look to make it a 1 touchdown difference. The kick is up and good. 17-10 Patriots.
Well, let's take one more look at it. This is Evans and Bodden all tied up together. But you can see there's the throw, back shoulder, and Lee Evans knew where the football was. And there's a situation where Lee Bodden did not know where the ball was. He lost track of it. He's not able to make the reaction. Lee Evans was.
Now, the question of whether an onside kick comes in here, it would be a no-brainer. You certainly wouldn't do it if you had all 3 of your timeouts remaining.
No, and that, by the way, was really, really close to Lee Evans not having possession before he went out of bounds. It's a moot case now because the extra point has been kicked, but it was ruled a touchdown on the field, and New England decided it wasn't worth it. But that was really close. But that was a heck of a play by Lee Evans and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
3:02 to play in regulation. Buffalo trailing by a touchdown.
And Buffalo only has 1 timeout left to try to save some time on this New England possession.
Patriots, by the way, have not scored a touchdown in the 4th quarter in their last 3 games. The onside kick, and it's loose. Who's got it? Well, we have different calls, and now they say the Bills do have it. Penalty markers down.
Sam Aiken had the ball right in his hands for New England.
Markers down at the 30-yard line. Here's Tony Correnti.
On the kick, offside, kicking team. 5-yard and re-kick.
Well, Tony Correnti's microphone was breaking up. Yep, no doubt about it. Right next to the kicker, number 58. Aaron Mabin was the player across the line of scrimmage. You could see his left foot was on the yard line and across it before the ball was kicked.
Dan, against the Bills today, 124 penalty yards, 41 sack yards.
And that one was a killer because they did have possession. Sam Aiken wasn't able to handle the ball, and it worked out beautifully for them.
And now the Patriots going to move just a few more up the field. We're getting a different tee out there. 3 minutes on the clock.
Sometimes you'll see a kicker try to pooch it over this line about 20 yards downfield and hope the ball can lie there until somebody gets it.
Nope, he's going to kick it all the way. This is Wes Welker from the 10. Across the 25 to about the 28-yard line.
Well, a golden opportunity. Look, Bill Belichick, I've been doing this for too long. 35 years he's been in the National Football League.
His 10th here in New England, his 15th season as a head coach.
Yeah, 5 years with Cleveland. He's seen it all, and he knows one thing: you come to Buffalo, it's normally a tougher fight than most people think coming in.
By the way, New England has managed just 9 total yards this 4th quarter. Here's Maroney. George Wilson with the stop. And the Buffalo Bills use their 3rd and final timeout to stop the clock with 2:50 to play.
And this is the type of situation where championship caliber football teams can run out the clock, and they do it by running the football and just moving the chains once or twice, and it's over.
You know, you go back to the opening game between these two teams this season. The Buffalo Bills had the Patriots beaten until Tom Brady threw 2 late touchdown passes to Benjamin Watson.
Yes, they did. And you know, it was a 1-point ball game, 25-24. So the Bills had confidence in the sense that they played well in that game. Certainly, historically, you can't have much in the way of confidence when I think opening day of 2003 was the last time they actually beat New England.
Lawrence Maroney, a season high 22 carries. 23. To about the 32. Paul Posluszny with the stop.
And of course, with the 40-second play clock running, the Patriots are going to have to snap the football before the 2-minute warning.
And Brian Scott is down. And not doing a really good job of getting up.
No, and he's doing exactly the right thing.
Is he the smallest linebacker in the NFL, Dan?
Well, yes, because he used to be their strong safety. And at 6'1", 219, he is the smallest linebacker in the league. That's just, you know, they've had so many injuries. Keith Ellison and Kavika Mitchell both on IR. Here he comes in there, 43, right on your left. Oh, and he just has one heck of a collision. That's Matthew Slater, I believe.
Who's at 6 feet 200.
Brian Scott has really done a nice job, and you can see Slater. That hit left a mark on both these guys.
Matthew Slater, whose dad, Jackie Slater,
Hall of Fame offensive tackle for both the Los Angeles and the St. Louis Rams. Yeah, that hit that took a toll on both these guys.
Meanwhile, once play resumes, the Patriots are looking at a 3rd and 6. And the Patriots have yet to register a first down this entire 4th quarter.
Well, Scott is up, but he's
woozy.
Yeah, he needs his help getting off the field. An arm over both a trainer and a doctor. And yes, 3 yards in this 4th quarter.
Well, there's whistles galore on the field.
Well, that's Tony Correnti telling guys, let's play ball.
Nick Harris, the rookie out of Oklahoma, has come in to replace Brian Scott at linebacker. 3rd and 6.
Now, Brady's still got 15 seconds here on the play clock. He'll try to use it all.
Play clock down to 5. And Brady throws for Welker, first down to the 40.
Who would have ever thought that?
2 minutes to play in Buffalo. Maybe Brady's biggest completion of the day. 17-10 pass. Lest anyone think Brian Scott was faking that injury, he has just stepped onto a cart and is about to be driven off to the locker room.
And he stepped onto that cart with help.
He's gingerly.
Yes, he's really feeling the effects. The Patriots go into the victory formation with no Buffalo timeouts. Let's go back and look at that big. Here's Wes Welker right here. And watch how he's going to just come up here, sit down. But look at the interference being run in front of him. There goes the clearing pattern. And Welker does nothing but run to the sticks and sit down. That might be as uncomplicated of a pattern as a guy could possibly run. Run straight ahead for 5 yards and squat. And there comes the ball.
Welker just 4 catches for 40 yards today. Moss 5 for 70 and a touchdown. But it's going to be enough to lift the New England Patriots, first of all, to a 9-5 record. This will eliminate the Buffalo Bills from playoff contention, and it means the Patriots will have swept Buffalo 6 consecutive seasons. In 7 of the last 8, they've won 13 in a row over the Bills. and 18 of the last 20 games against them.
And like a lot of New England's wins this year, nothing spectacular. It has been very workmanlike. And again, I think it needs to be pointed out, New England left a lot of quality guys behind playing this game. Stephen Neal, their right guard, Nick Kazir, their right tackle.
And a real road win, too.
And a real road win. You know, Will Fork not playing, Ty Warren not playing.
Buffalo unable to stop the clock, and that'll do it. Bill Belichick will take his troops back to Foxborough with a 9-5 record.
And still in first place in the AFC East.
With everybody breathing down their necks, the Patriots have done what they had to do here in Buffalo. The Bills, it's another wait until next year scenario.
Well, and a lot of questions to be answered about coaching. You know, supposedly Mike Shanahan was in conversations. We'll see what happens.
17-10 New England for Dan Deerdorf, Greg Gumbel. So long from Buffalo. Let's go to James Brown in New York.